She was born with oceans, blue water, soft clouds, a world that could have been ours. And then she burned alive. Venus, named after the goddess of love. For centuries, we imagined paradise beneath those clouds. We were wrong. Venus is a warning. Look at Venus from a distance. She glows, a pearl of white light hanging in the twilight sky, brighter than any star in the heavens. Ancient civilizations worshipped her. Romans named her after their goddess of beauty. Astronomers dreamed of jungles and seas beneath her veil. And why not? Venus is almost identical to Earth. Same size, same mass, same rocky bones, born from the same cloud of dust 4 billion years ago. She is our sister, our twin, the planet that should have been the second cradle of life in the solar system. But we were wrong about Venus. Terribly, catastrophically wrong. In the 1960s, radio telescopes turned toward Venus for the first time. The data came back wrong. The surface was not warm. It was scorching, 470 degrees Celsius. Hotter than Mercury, the planet closest to the sun. Hot enough to melt lead in minutes. That soft white glow we admired for centuries? Those are not water clouds. They are clouds of concentrated sulfuric acid, 60 kilometers thick, wrapping the entire planet in an opaque, toxic shroud. You cannot see the surface of Venus from space. Venus hides behind her veil, and what she hides is a nightmare. The atmospheric pressure at the surface is 92 times greater than Earth. Imagine 900 meters of ocean pressing down on every inch of your body. You would not just be crushed, you would be simultaneously crushed, cooked, and dissolved by acid. All at once, in seconds. The air is 96% carbon dioxide, almost no oxygen, no water, no wind near the surface, just heat, pressing down forever. It rains on Venus. Sulfuric acid falls from those thick clouds high in the atmosphere. But the rain never reaches the ground. The heat is so extreme that every drop evaporates before it can touch the surface. Rain that boils in mid-air. Venus eats her own weather. A single day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days, longer than her own year around the sun, and she rotates backward. The sun rises in the west, sets in the east, as if something knocked her upside down billions of years ago. No seasons, no relief, no cycle of warmth and cold, just a permanent, featureless, crushing furnace stretching to every horizon. The surface glows, not from sunlight, from heat. At 470 degrees, the rocks themselves emit a faint, dull, orange-red light, a world that glows in the dark. Not with beauty, with fever. Venus is the most hostile environment in the inner solar system. More extreme than Mercury, more violent than Mars. Do not be fooled by the name. Do not be fooled by the light. But that is not the scary part. The scary part is what Venus used to be. In 2016, scientists at NASA's Goddard Institute built a climate model of ancient Venus. What they found changed everything we thought we knew. Venus may have had liquid water oceans, shallow seas covering much of her surface, for up to 2 billion years. 2 billion years. That is longer than complex life has existed on Earth. Let that sink in. The young sun was about 30% dimmer 4 billion years ago. Venus sat comfortably inside the habitable zone. Cloud cover reflected enough sunlight to keep surface temperatures mild. Current models suggest average temperatures around 11 degrees Celsius. 11 degrees. That is a spring day in London, a comfortable afternoon. On Venus, scientists believe she had coastlines, tides pulling water across dark volcanic beaches. Maybe even rain, real rain, made of water. The deuterium to hydrogen ratio in her atmosphere today is 120 times higher than Earth. That is the chemical fingerprint of massive water loss. Proof: Venus once had oceans. The atoms remember, even if the water is gone. Life could have started there. We do not know if it did, but the conditions were right. Venus had every ingredient. For almost half the age of the solar system, Venus may have been a blue world. A world where you could breathe the air and drink the water, but the sun kept getting hotter. 1% brighter every 100 million years. slowly, relentlessly, unstoppably, and Venus was just a little too close. The oceans began to evaporate. Water vapor rose into the upper atmosphere, and water vapor is a powerful greenhouse gas. More heat means more evaporation. More evaporation means more water vapor. More vapor means more heat. A feedback loop with no off switch. Scientists call it a runaway greenhouse effect. Once it starts, there is no going back. There is no reset button. There is no second chance. Over millions of years, the oceans boiled into the sky. Ultraviolet radiation tore the water molecules apart. Hydrogen escaped into space, gone forever. Carbon dioxide from volcanic eruptions filled the vacuum. The atmosphere thickened, the pressure built, the temperature climbed. Venus did not die quickly. She suffocated, slowly. Her atmosphere became her coffin, a coffin made of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid. A planet that once had oceans now melts lead on its surface. That is not a disaster. It is a transformation from paradise to hell. Between 1961 and 1984, the Soviet Union launched 16 spacecraft to Venus. The Venera program, the most brutal space mission in human history. The early probes did not even make it to the surface. Venera 4 was built to withstand 25 atmospheres of pressure. Venus has 92. The ship was crushed like a tin can, destroyed before it even saw the ground. But the Soviets did not give up. They built stronger probes, thicker titanium hulls, better insulation. They sent ship after ship into that acid-choked atmosphere. In 1970, Venera 7 became the first human-made object to land on another planet. It transmitted data for 23 agonizing minutes. Then Venus killed it. The heat overwhelmed every system. The signal went silent, and the machine was never heard from again. In 1975, Venera 9 sent back the first photograph from the surface of another world. Jagged rocks, an orange sky, a volcanic wasteland. The camera lasted 53 minutes, then it died. Then the spacecraft died. Venus destroys everything that touches her surface. In 1982, Venera 13 captured the only color photographs of Venus, a golden-brown landscape of basaltic rock under a thick, hazy, amber sky. The lander was designed for 30 minutes. It survived for 2 hours and 7 minutes. A miracle of Soviet engineering. Then the planet consumed it. No spacecraft has landed on Venus since 1985. 40 years of silence. Not because we stopped caring, because we cannot build machines that survive. We have rovers on Mars that last for decades. Probes orbiting the outer planets for years. On Venus, 2 hours. That is the maximum. The surface is a graveyard of Soviet metal. Corroded shells, melted lenses, fused circuits, all slowly dissolving in the heat and acid. Every photograph we have of Venus comes from those doomed machines. A handful of grainy images captured in the minutes before death. That is all. A few desperate snapshots of hell, transmitted by cameras that knew they were being destroyed. But the real horror of Venus is not what she does to machines. Venus and Earth formed together. Same material, same nursery, same starting conditions. Two sisters born 40 million kilometers apart. One became a garden. The other became a furnace. The only difference? Distance from the sun. A tiny fraction of an astronomical unit. Earth has carbon dioxide too. 400 parts per million in our atmosphere right now. On Venus, 96%. Nearly pure CO2. Earth has a greenhouse effect. Without it, we would be frozen. But ours is balanced. Water cycles through clouds and oceans and ice caps. Venus lost that balance. Her thermostat broke. And once the runaway begins, nothing in the universe can stop it. Scientists do not believe Earth will become Venus tomorrow. The physics are different. The timescales are different. We are not doomed to her exact fate. But Venus proves something that should terrify every person alive. A habitable world can die. Oceans can boil away. Blue skies can turn to acid. She proves that paradise is not permanent. That a planet can cross a line it can never uncross. Venus is not a cautionary tale from science fiction. She is a real planet, orbiting our real sun, and she used to be like us. The next time someone asks whether climate change really matters, show them Venus. Show them what a dead greenhouse looks like. 470 degrees, 92 atmospheres. Acid rain that never falls. That is not a warning. That is a prophecy. And that is the real horror. Not the heat, not the pressure. The horror is that she used to be like us. We call Venus Earth's evil twin. But that is not right. Venus is not evil. She is a victim. She did not choose to lose her oceans. She did not choose to suffocate. She was born too close to a star that kept getting brighter. If you could strip away that crushing atmosphere, her surface would look remarkably like Earth. Similar gravity, similar rock, a world built for life. But you cannot strip it away. Her atmosphere weighs 465 trillion kilograms. It is a prison with no exit. Somewhere beneath that acid sky, buried under billions of years of lava, there may be traces of what she once was. Ancient shorelines fossilized in basalt, river channels filled with volcanic glass, the geological scars of vanished oceans. The deuterium ratio is the proof. 120 times Earth's. That is not a theory, that is a measurement. She had water, she lost it. NASA is planning to return. Da Vinci will plunge through her atmosphere. Veritas will map her surface with radar. ESA's Envision will study her geology. For the first time in 40 years, we will send instruments back into that hell, to look for the ghost of the world that died. Maybe they will find ancient minerals that only form in liquid water. Maybe they will find chemical signatures of a lost biosphere. Or maybe they will find nothing, just more rock, more heat, more silence. A planet that erased its own history. But no matter what the missions find, we already know the most important truth about Venus. She is what happens when a world runs out of chances. Tonight, if the timing is right, step outside and look west after sunset. You will see her, a brilliant white light near the horizon. The evening star, the morning star. She has been there every night of human history, watching us, shining, silent. She is the brightest object in our sky after the sun and moon, and she is beautiful, undeniably, heartbreakingly beautiful. But now you know what hides behind that beauty. 90 atmospheres of carbon dioxide, a surface temperature that glows in the dark, acid clouds 60 kilometers thick, rain that never reaches the ground, machines melted in minutes. A world that once had water and warmth. Venus is not a monster. She is a mirror, a 4 billion-year-old mirror showing us what happens when a living world dies. She's the ghost of a planet that could have been Earth, a twin who drew the wrong hand and burned for it. The next time you see that bright light in the sky, do not look away. Remember what she lost. Remember what she used to be. A blue world, a sister, a second Earth. Now just a beautiful, burning corpse drifting alone through the dark. What do you think happened to Venus? Could life have existed before the oceans boiled? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring the darkest corners of our universe, you know what to do. Keep looking up. Stay curious.